Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy November 14th. Happy Trade Gold with Me live morning. Excited to be here. I typically don't do this live across all my channels simply because I usually do this in a private group. If you're in a private group, I'm going to drop the link in there in just a moment so you can jump on with me if you like. Let me go do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to jump in and take a look at the charts here real quick. We're going to talk about the AUD, USD versus, yep, that's where I want to be. Comment here. Join me. Go. Put it in the comments in the group. So if you want to grab that link and jump on with me, you're absolutely welcome to do that. Should I just put it in the comments in the group underneath this live? Good morning. Absolutely excited to be here. We'll jump in and do some trading. Give a few minutes, just a little bit of time for a few folks to jump on. Got some exciting stuff to go over this morning. Good morning, Mr. Martin. For sure. Feel free to tag along. I shared the link in the iTraders group. If you want to jump in over there and jump on camera with me, anybody that's in that group, feel free to. If not, absolutely okay. We're just going to go over the AUD USD versus gold versus US dollar, and I'll talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about the indicators I use, how to use indicators to help you trade, and of course, I've got a link somewhere around this video that if you'd like to get enrolled into what is probably one of the best education platforms on the planet to learn how to trade, put yourself in front of, 24 experienced traders to learn how to trade Forex and crypto and NFTs. Absolutely awesome. Have roughly 35 hours of live classes every single week. They've got 100 hours of recorded classes. The community is off the chain. Awesome. They've got a very robust calendar of times that you can plug into both live. But the calendar you can plug into live if you'd like to join that community. The link is right above me somewhere here on this description. If you have any questions about getting enrolled, feel free to shoot me a text and I'll walk through the enrollment. It takes all of 5 minutes. There's a monthly tuition that's required to enroll. It's very affordable. There's no contracts. You can get in and do it. But I would recommend, if you are going to learn how to trade, right, two sides to that. One is I recommend you learn how to trade just so you have that skill. So if you're looking at something with all the stuff that's going around between Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin and trading, that you don't get scammed, or you're less likely to get scammed if you know what you're looking at, right? So the first thing is just learning how to trade or learning the trading craft, just so you know, even if you don't trade, right? So one is that's very important to do. The second thing is, for example, there's quite a few clubs going around or communities going around that if you know how to trade, they've got some really cool trade assist systems put in place. So you can basically copy off the smart kids. So if you know how to trade, you can look at that stuff and make a better decision on whether or not you want to take a trade in that type of community. And if you'd like to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me. I've got some referrals and recommendations for that as well. And of course, the other side, if you do decide to trade, you need to commit 3 to 4 hours a week and realize you're not going to learn in 30 days. You need to commit to 3 to 4 hours a week, probably somewhere in the lines of at least a minimum of 6 months, if not to a year. 6 months just to get the class, because there's so much. There's so many different indicators. There's so many different styles. There's a lot of noise in trading, and you need to learn how to narrow it down. And if you know me, been following at all, you know my focus is I trade gold. Why? I don't know. It just sort of happened to fall in love with trading gold. She's sort of what I call my toxic girlfriend. You never know what she's going to do. And primarily, she's got an accomplice called the US dollar, which if you learn how to keep an eye on the US dollar, it helps you trade gold a little bit. And then she's got a crazy twin sister called the AUD USD, which we're going to talk about this morning. So got my coffee, got my orange juice. We are RTG. If you have any questions about getting into trading, joining the copycat club, any that kind of stuff, reach out for sure. And we'll talk about options for putting you in front of this awesome market. There's a lot of options out there to get in front of the Forex and crypto trading market to make money. You don't just have to trade for one. Let's see, Hafitz Shah jumped in from LinkedIn. Awesome. Welcome. Glad you could swing by. Appreciate it. So check this out. Again, if you're a super experienced trader and you don't take my advice, right? I've been doing this like for 2 years, so I'm sort of okay, pretty good, but I'm going to get better with time, right? So let's do a screen share here. Let's take a look at this stuff, and we will jump. We will jump right in. So you'll see here the Australian dollar, gold, and the US dollar. I think let me get over here. There we go. US dollar, gold, Australian dollar, all three of these. And you'll notice if you look at these, right, this is the Australian dollar right here. This is gold right here. They look very similar. These are both on the 4-hour time frame, and you'll notice that they move very, very similarly, right? These are 4-hour candles right here. You'll notice this is a 4-hour candle. So every 4 hours makes a candle. I use the Heikinaichi candles, which helps me see a trend, right? See a trend in terms of setting up trends. And you'll notice on here, down here where it says gold, all things being equal, a stronger US dollar tends to keep the price of gold lower and more controlled versus US dollar. It takes a dive like it's doing here. Gold prices are likely to go up. And you'll notice it just does the opposite. Now, gold doesn't immediately react, and most times doesn't immediately react to the US dollar, which is absolutely okay. The gold doesn't immediately react to the US dollar, which is awesome. Sometimes the US dollar will move and the gold is a little bit on the lag. So if you're going to use these to help you trade gold, then that's something. Now, the Australian dollar moves a little bit slower in terms of grabbing liquidity. It moves just a little bit slower than gold. So if you're going to trade the US dollar, but either way, and I wanted to show you this, the indicator I use is called FAST. If you'd like it, just let me know and I can definitely get you a link to it. It's FXAST. It's a capital F and then a small X and then AST. And I think it's Fast Light or whatever. You can go in and you can download this indicator, very, very cool indicator, and I'll explain how it works. And you can use it basically on any timeline. This big purple line is my oracle. It sort of gives me an idea where gold is going to move, or the US dollar or Australian dollar is going to move. I should say gold, because if I call this gold, this is where I usually set gold at in my windows when I'm looking at them. So just keep track of this US dollar. Typically, the way this indicator works, right? And I've explained this before. Typically, the way this indicator works, as you trade, you want to get an idea, an overall trend. So typically you're going to start out and just go take a look, and you can do this. You don't have to do this every single day. If you get up on Monday and you take a look at where the market is going on Monday, and you can see an overall trend in the Australian dollar has been trending down for months, right? This is all the way back here in June of 2021. So the Australian dollar, other than a few months that it had a couple of up months, and it jumped quite a bit up here in May of 22. And you'll notice what happened in May of 22. The Australian dollar had a big jump. It wicked a lot. In other words, you had a lot of buyers and sellers fighting over the market. That's when Bitcoin did its big crash, right? It went from like 60,000 to, I don't know, 20,000 or something in that month. And everybody freaked out. Oh my God, the sky is falling. The world's coming to an apocalyptic end. Well, it didn't end, right? Bitcoin just did a huge correction, and it's been hovering now somewhere around the 17 to 20 range. It's been bumping up and down. And of course, I think it was last week, crypto overall took a big dive and went down. And that's the market. That's currency. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. You can see this. The Australian dollar back here in May of 20 was in a buying mode, and it went up and 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 for months, all the way up till May of 21. For an entire year, it had growth. So if you would open a trade down here on a buy, and you let that bad boy ride for a year, and you had enough dollars in your bank, and you had your lot size set right, and everything was set right, you would have made a lot of money in that trade right there over a year. Just open it up and let it run, right? Make sure you maybe have a trailing stop loss behind you, and realizing these candles, right? If you come down to smaller time frames, it's doing like this, up and down, 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 up and down. So it's not just a straight trend to the moon. We are looking at a 4-hour time frame here. You're going to have a lot of ups and downs, like on this candle right here, right? You've got a pretty decent wick, so you had a lot of ups and downs to get from this point all the way to this point right here. you had a whole lot of ups and downs going on to get to there. And then when this candle closed, this one opened up and had a lot of ups and downs to get to here. Same thing. And then of course you had the bunch of sellers jump in the market here, which would have got you some really decent drawdown for an entire month, right? You would have had drawdown from where you're at here for an entire month. So as an experienced trader, if you're trading a very, very long swing trade like this, right, you would have just stayed in the market, let the drawdown happen, wait for the correction is going to come back up. Or you would have saw the drawdown starting here based on analyzing the market, all that kind of stuff. You'd have maybe just closed out the trade, kept your money somewhere in this area. And when it did the recorrection and came back up here, you would have jumped back up. Looks like Martin is trying to jump in here. Hopefully we'll see. I don't see your, there you are, Martin. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. So this again is your 4 hour chart. I'm sorry, this is your monthly on the Australian dollar. Let's go take a look at gold and see what that looks like on the monthly. See if it looks anywhere similar, right? Hit the refresh button down here. And you can see it has a very, very similar trend to the Australian dollar. Started down here in June. See, this started its uptrend in May. Gold started its uptrend. That's actually December 2018. It started working its way up, started working its way up. Here's September 19. Gold's going up, 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 and up, and up. And then it hits August of 20, right? And again, this one was May of 20. This is August of 20. It kept going, right? So the Australian dollar has a mind of its own. Sometimes it'll change direction more in line with what's going on with the US dollar sometimes. But they all three work very symbiotically to move. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're looking at learning to trade, again, if you want to learn how to trade, don't just watch a video like this and go, oh, I got it, I know how to trade. You're going to go out and get your butt kicked and you're going to get your money just taken from you. You need to get enrolled in a formal education class. I did it. I took my time. I had the patience. I sat on my hands. I learned how to trade because I saw the value in that. Just like if I was going to be a surgeon, right? I'm not going to watch some dude on a YouTube video talking about going to doctor school and then think that I can go out and be a surgeon. No, I've got to go get enrolled in class. I've got to go through all the basics. I got to get my bachelor's degree. Then I got to get into doctor school and all that kind of stuff, right? Before I do that, one of my sons is a pharmacist, and he went to school, then went to school, right, to become a pharmacist, right? Which is cool. I think he did seven and a half years of just schooling to do that. And now I think they have to get recertified every now and then to be able to be a pharmacist. So learning how to trade, very similar. You don't have to learn how to trade for 7 years, but if you hang in the market and you do hang out with the smart guys and the guys that know how to trade, 7 years from now, you'll be able to make thousands of dollars instantly without having to sit in front of your computer all day. I usually don't trade for more than a couple hours a day and I'm done, right? So fun. Excited. A couple of things, announcements, and we're going to jump into this. One, if you'd like to join the Copycat Club, we're actually got a gold copycat coming out where you can sit down and literally copy off the smart kids. If you'd like to learn more about that, two things. One, text me, right? Text me to get some information on it because I want to talk. I want to make sure before you pull the trigger on it, you know what to expect. We'll get you some details on it. If you just like to learn how to trade like me and Martin do, click the link somewhere here in my bio and go in and get enrolled in class. I'll walk you through the dashboard, show you where to start once you get enrolled, get set up and rocking and rolling. And if you don't want to do any of that, that's absolutely okay. Like I said, I have solutions to put yourself in front of this kind of money all day long. This chat, I'll give you some options. I just don't want to trade. I don't want to go into that. Got an option for that as well. So looking at trading, looking at the market, looking at the US dollars, the US dollar, you can see it's trending up. We're on the 4 hour charts. Let's go down here. I'm sorry, we're on the monthlies. Let's go down here to the 1 hour and take a look at this. Hit my refresh. I'm looking at my MACD right here. I've got all kinds of sellers in the market. I'm looking at my Oracle. Now, one thing again, this indicator, right? If you're going to use indicators when trading, you can do several things. One is you need to make sure that you have a stop loss set or a trailing stop loss so you don't lose money. You need to understand that when you get in the market may turn and go in a different direction. You need to be willing to take a loss on the chin, right? You need to be able to take a loss on the chin. So let's jump over here to gold and go down to the 1 hour. here as well. Hit my refresh, and you'll notice these two look very, very similar. Got sellers in the market, right? Sellers in the market, sellers in the market. I'm coming down to my zero line on my MACD. I've got my Oracle running a little bit flat. I've got my gold, and I call my BTS lines here, the between the sheets. We talked about that last week. If a pair that you're trading ever gets in between these two, and you've got all your other indicators saying that the trend's moving, for example, in this move, if the Australian dollar decided to break below this line, I'm looking at my US dollar and it's starting to trend up. This starts to trend more down. It comes in between these two black lines, and maybe the Oracle decides to do a right-hand turn right here, as I call it. And I've got a blue cloud. I've got a blue X. I've got a red SAR. Everything's telling me this is a buy. There's a pretty good chance that I can enter a trade, a short trade, to run from here to here between these two and take a trade in this area, right? I could do something like that and set myself up with a trade, depending on how you want to set your 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, depending on how you want to set your trade up. I can set up a trade in between. It's called a BTS move, depending on all the other things being flat. Now my Oracle down here is running flat, which means I'm probably going to have some ranging for a little while on these. If I want to go in and scalp on gold, I can go down to a smaller time frame, like the 1 minute time frame, and see what gold's doing at the 1 minute. So let's go ahead and jump down there, give me a good idea on what gold is doing. You can see I'm sort of in love with gold. Now here on the 15 minute on my gold, it's ranging up. Let's see what my US dollar is doing on the 15 minute. And you see it's starting to turn, right? US dollar is in a turn. In other words, there's sellers in the market on the US dollar. That means my gold is going to do just the opposite. In most cases, sometimes there's a little bit of lag in there, but that's how you trade gold. It just really relates to this. You want to get in the market. Now, if you're going to come in and scalp, we're talking about the AUD USD today. So I'm going to look at some bigger time frames. Let's come down to the 15 minute and see what the Australian dollar is doing. It's looking a little bit like a Chinese dragon, which is really, really cool. Actually looks like got some really good upside down head and shoulders action going on here in the Fibonacci candles. Now I like to use the Fibonacci candles. Now remember what I told you about indicators and the indicator in the fast system. You'll see right here, this indicator gave me all indications to enter in a buy, which is fine. I could have jumped in right here, jumped in a buy, set myself up and let it run all the way up until it takes profit here, set myself up for 20, 30 pips, depending on what's available in that move. All right, in this long move, I could have opened up a trade here, ran it up to right about there. That's awesome. That's a really good trade. I'm going to pull my stop loss just up below this little SAR deal right here to reduce my stop loss in case it decides to go the other direction. I open it up and let's set. Ooh, that's a big one. Let's pull it down here. Let's give myself a little bit more room on my stop loss. So this here would have basically been a 5-to-1 move on this candle, this big candle on this Australian dollar. I would have jumped in and got a little bit of money on that. And that was one day this morning at 1:45 a.m. Well, I wasn't awake at 1:45 a.m., so I wasn't taking that. But for all of my friends over in Australia, that they would have been watching this, they would have made some money on that move. They also, in coming back talking about this indicator, this fast indicator, and watching this, you'll notice the cloud starts to turn right here. Now, watching this indicator for long enough, if I'm seeing this, I'm watching this indicator start to move, I may have opened up a second window, right? If I'm on the 15 minute, I may have opened up a 5-minute window over here to see it, see if it's starting to turn, right? And I'm looking for sellers jumping in the market. I want to make sure that I grab as much liquidity as I possibly can, as much profit as I possibly can. And never be afraid to close a trade. If you're looking at it and your gut says, man, I think I should close this trade, just close it. If you got money, take the money and run, right? That's the take the money and run. And sometimes if you're just looking at something and your subconscious says, what's going on here? Because sometimes when you learn how to trade, your subconscious will kick in and say, dude, don't push past the subconscious, right? If you know how to do this and you're looking at the charts, go ahead and bail. Get out. When in doubt, bail out, right? So you can save yourself some money. Went into some ranging. Again, had a bunch of sellers jump in the market. So I could have jumped back in right here and took another trade on the Australian dollar. It's starting to turn and come back up. And depending on what it does, there's a good opportunity in here for the AUD USD. I might want to wait till the market opens. It's going to open here in about an hour-ish. and it's going to open up here in about an hour and get running here. So I might want to wait to see what all of this other stuff does here, especially the US dollar, to see where it's going, to see what it's going to do in terms of what happens. The news and the elections are still going on. I understand the Senate won the House yesterday, which I don't quite understand with the way the economy is in the US, how that possibly happened. But I guess people don't mind paying a lot more for stuff. There must have been some other issues. I don't know. Anyway, pretty crazy. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road, but I don't know. Politics lately has just been crazy, crazy, crazy. I like watching the elections. It's like watching the Super Bowl. I think it's crazy to see all of the politicians and all the newscasters talking about their opinion and why somebody won and why somebody. It's almost better than the soap operas that you used to watch back in the day, right? So cool deal. Anyway, I digress. Coming back to talking about trading, right? Looking at the market, learning how to trade, getting into a class, finding a pair that you like to trade, like the AUD USD, or maybe you're into the euro, the pound, or whatever pair that you like to trade. Find a pair that you like to trade and fall in love with it. So here's one of the things that I did learn in trading. It's called Aaron Shepard, one of the coolest instructors around, in my opinion, is he uses a term called pay to wait, right? And it's sometimes you just have to sit on your hands and wait, trying to force a trade, trading when your mindset isn't right, trading because you're in revenge mode, because maybe you lost some money, sometimes isn't a good idea. It's okay if you don't trade every day. There are some traders that don't trade on Mondays simply because they want to wait to see what's going to happen in the market. I look at gold every morning at 7:30, right? Because it's typically going to do something crazy. I want to make sure, matter of fact, that I'm thinking about it, right? I need to, somebody just wants to send you a message. Okay, let me get my MT4 open up here, open up over to my gold side. And I know I'm talking about AUD USD, but I wanted to bring that up. Because in AUD USD, you can open a longer term trade, but I need to wait because, again, I don't want to get in at the top of a trade here, right? I don't want to get in at the top of the trade. I've got 4 minutes till this one opens another candle. I want to see if it's going to continue to do all this kind of crazy stuff, right? I may just not get into a trade with the AUD USD. I just may wait. I might go look at Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar. I might switch over and take a look at that to see what it's doing a little bit. Now, if I do go to that side of the world, if I do go to the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar, I need to make sure that I'm in the right market time zone to get the most impact. But since I am in the US time frame right now, we'll take a look at this and see what's going to happen here in just a few minutes to see if this is actually going to trend and shoot off this way based on something the US dollar decides to do when the news hits. Gold is going to take off as well. So I've got my gold opened up, and I'm probably going to go down to a smaller time frame to keep an eye on my gold in case it decides it wants to do a crazy thing like it did the other night. And you'll notice gold has just been going up. So if I would have got into this gold trade here at just basically 554 this morning, opened up a trade, it ran right up here, right? That's actually like 5 minutes before I got up this morning. Yeah, I didn't get up till 6 o'clock. I don't know what I just did. Give me a second here. I got some crazy. Refresh on that. It's got my charts all mixed up here. That was weird. Let's close some of this stuff. Okay. So looking at gold, again, gold is trending overall. It's trending up. I've got my Oracle. I've got my orange and black line. They're starting to point to the moon. I've got my dollar. US dollar is trending in the downward area. And as long as the US dollar keeps going down, come on, as long as the US dollar keeps going down, gold is going to have a tendency to trend up. Now, does it continuously go up? No, you can see some sellers jumped in the market. Seller jumped in the market. Sellers jumped in the market, and this is part of trading. So you could open a trade here. I want to switch over and take a look at my other candles. This will drive you nuts. See, sellers, buyers, sellers, buyers, buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers. They go up and down and up and down and up and down. I like to use the Heikinaichi candles and the fast system because it's going to tell me when to sort of give me an idea of when to get in and out of the market. Let me go back down here and add in my MACD. That's not doing all the crazy stuff now. So you can see my MACD. I have buyers in the market, and I'm way above my zero line, right? Way above my zero line. So gold is a good opportunity to get into buys. Now, where is it going to go up this way? This is something you can decide if you want to scalp, right? And I actually just hit the buy button on my gold. Just open the trade on buy mode, and I'm going to go over to my close window, and we're going to see how that sets up. I've got a very small new gold account I opened up. I've got my lot size set at 0.12. Yeah, just 0.12. Set up my lot size, and we'll take a look at this. I did not set a stop loss because I'm simply looking for a profit. I know this bad boy's going here, and I want to try to get out of this before the 730 hits, because at 730 hits, it might do like a hard right turn and go crazy. So I'm going to just grab me a few dollars on profit and see where it goes and wait till about 730. It looks like my US dollar is still heading to the basement, right? Still heading to the basement. Probably want to jump over and take a look at some of the news. And there goes the Australian dollar. It's coming right behind it, AUD, USD. It's breaking this way. So this tells me we've got a lot of momentum going on this. Now my candle here is slowing down a little bit, which means some sellers are jumping in the market on this. But I've still got a lot of stuff going on here. My Oracle, it had turned right here to the north, but now it's getting a little bit flat. And then, of course, my market swung a little bit, went in the other direction. So it's just a matter of hanging out and watching this and sitting on your hands and being patient, right? I can set a stop loss. If I want to have a minimum stop loss in here, I can set a stop loss somewhere here so I don't lose a ton of money on a trade. If it decides it wants to go crazy on me, I can come in and do something like this and set me a stop loss right here at 1760, which I'll probably go ahead and do. So let's see where we at. It's at 1765.5. Let's see where we're going here, because that's running at 1765.5 is going to put me at a stop at about $15 as a loss if I go there, right? And again, it's going in the direction, or I can simply look at my phone and see where my trade is going, and I can have a mental stop in my head to say, okay, if it gets to this dollar amount, I'm going to close the trade and I'm going to take a small loss and wait for it to go in the other direction. I can go back in and open up another trade. The goal is to have more wins than losses, like getting up to bat, right? Every time a batter gets up, it's nice if they get a hit. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But if you get 7 out of 10, what is that, like super all-star? I think if you have a 300 batting average in baseball, so I just hit $20. If I hit $25, I'm going to close it out, right? And see where it goes again. That's just my visual stop loss to wait for it to turn around. But I've also got 4 seconds in here, right? This is going to determine which way it's going to go dollar-wise. And I'm going to close that out. And again, I did that on purpose, right? I wanted to show you that I'm not afraid to take a loss. So I took a $21 loss on that because the trade isn't going in the direction I want to. Again, I'm scalping, and that's absolutely okay. You see my sellers jumped in the market here. Now, I probably, learning lesson, right? Learning lesson. Gold is reactive to the US dollar. I didn't see this coming. There's no way to see that coming. But again, I had a stop loss set in my brain, so I can sit here and I can wait for it to go the other direction. I probably need to look at the news. 7:30, something crazy is going to happen. Or my Oracle here, you see I've got a sellers in the market. I've got a red SAR. My sellers may jump back in the market, but I still have an overall trend of going up. I want to wait for another indicator before I open up a short position on this to see if it's actually going to come this way. Now, if my Oracle down here decides it wants to turn right, have a feeling price is going to come right here. I have a feeling price is going to come right about here and turn around and go back this direction. We'll just see. We'll see how close I am from watching this for a while, right? And they say you shouldn't trade on feelings. I say that because I've watched I've watched gold enough to know and understand how this indicator works, that when price hits this area, it's going to either stall out. If it passes through here, it's going to hit my oracle and stall out and bounce around, do a little bit of ranging, and then possibly come back up here. But I've also got to watch the US dollar to see what it's going to do, right? You got a bunch of buyers jumping in the market in the US dollar trying to push the dollar back up, right? They're trying to push the dollar back up. Right now, the dollar is sitting right around the 106 point. Gold is sitting right around the 1759 area. Let's see what the next cloud does, the next candle does. See, it opened on a smaller candle, right? It opened on a smaller candle. My purple cloud starting to get a little bit smaller, but again, it may do a little bit of a fake out right here and turn and come back this way. We just have to wait and see, right? I do still have sellers in the market looking at my MACD. Meanwhile, the Australian dollar, because I'm on a little bit, the Australian dollar hanging out over here on the 15-minute chart, it's still got buyers in the market. Let's go down to the 5-minute and see what it's doing, right? 5-minute is bouncing off the oracle that took a stall, right? It's hanging out here trying to decide what it wants to do. I could have opened this trade here and just sat on it because everything's above my zero line. I still got buyers in the market. But since gold decided it wanted to do a little bit of a right turn here, the Australian dollar is also stalling out. You see that? Right. Let's go down to a smaller time frame. Yeah, Australian dollar. See, Australian dollar is doing the same thing. It's starting to mirror what gold is doing, right? But when do you get in the market? You saw I just opened up a trade. I got in and I closed the trade out because I set a mental stop loss again. That's scalping, right? Operates in a little bit different mindset than you would if you're trading gold just on a regular longer term frame, or if you're trading the USD or trading AUD USD. I would have just opened a trade down here, set myself up for 30 to 50 pips, depending on what you want to win in 30 to 50 pips, and just let it run. And when everything is said and done, right, close my trade out at wherever I want to close my trade out. Right now, I need to wait for the US dollar or the AUD USD to change direction. I want to have a solid direction change going either in the uptrend, in the long trend, or in the short trend before I jump back in a trade. Some days it's just when you're scalping, you've got to be fast on the trigger. You've got to know what you're looking for. You can see there's some buyers jumping back in the market here. Some buyers jumping back in the market. Then I've got a seller jumping in the market. The US dollar is trying to turn and come back for more sellers in the market. So just look at all this stuff. And sometimes you'll get some trades, sometimes you don't. Monday, sometimes, like I said, some people don't trade on Mondays. It's just a look in and let the market do all of this crazy stuff coming out of the weekend. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can, as a trader, you can probably make more money trading 2 or 3 hours a day on those 3 days than most people make all month, right? Once you learn how to trade, that's a lot of fun, right? It can be a lot of fun. It can be very, very exciting to be able to jump in and do that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of techniques and a lot of strategies. There's a couple of guys that are traders. They call themselves bare naked traders. In other words, they don't use any indicators. They just use candles. And you learn how to read you learn how to read traditional candles. And when you get in and out of the market using supply and demand and things like that, supply and demand zones, they get in and out of the market based on that stuff. So whatever your style is, whatever you learn, right? Whatever you look at in terms of my primary learning style is I'm looking at an overall trend to get in and out of a market, right? And then sometimes if I'm coming down into a scalping zone, I'm looking at these are 1 minute time intervals, right? So depending on what I'm looking at, I'm going to get in, get out, get in, get out. I'm going to get in, right, and get out. Again, that's scalping. And you can see I've got a nice little lightning bolt, as some people might call it, sort of going in an uptrend, moving that direction. But look here, my oracle on my AUD USD just turned south, right? Just turned south because I've got a lot of sellers in the market and they're watching what gold is doing because they're a strong gold dependent type kind of market. Good morning, wife. Moving in this direction, right? Going down this way. And of course, my US dollar is playing around over here. So sometimes you just have to sit and wait and see what happens. And it's not required to be able to get in and get a trade every day. And when you're looking at using indicators and you're looking at using bots and you're looking at copying off the smart kids, Sometimes you don't, if it just doesn't feel like a trading day for you, don't trade on that day. Money's not going anywhere. Gold's not going anywhere. In other words, it's going to move, but it's just going to be there tomorrow, right? Just like when we closed out on Friday, we knew when we got up today that the money was still going to be there. The currency is still going to be there. Forex trades at $7.7 trillion a day. Crypto trades at like $170 billion a day or some kind of crazy number like that. Everybody freaked out. I got text messages yesterday from a couple of people when that FTX crypto company filed bankruptcy. Like, did Bitcoin just file bankruptcy? No, Bitcoin is currency, right? It's not a company. It's not a business. Bitcoin is not a company. It's currency, right? It'd sort of be like did the U.S. dollar file bankruptcy. The U.S. of America could file bankruptcy, but the U.S. dollar can't, right? It's money. It's currency. It's not going anywhere, right? So companies can file bankruptcy all day long, and probably the reason that company filed bankruptcy is because they made a lot of bad decisions around crypto, and companies make bad decisions and they go out of business. Hopefully they learn something, and when they do come back in business later, they don't make the same bad decisions, right? So anyway, and I also got some really good news from my son Forrest Jr. that he's actually opening his own trading education platform, which is really cool. He went live for the first time yesterday. It's called FKX. I thought that was really cool, right? So excited to learn about that. I want to jump in and see what he's got going on as well. So I would say like father, like son, but it's more like son, like father, because he actually started trading before I did. And I didn't start trading because he did. I just did it because I thought it was cool and sort of what does it call it? Coincidental that we both are sort of into the same thing. So cool deal. I'm excited for him to see how his business takes off and just explodes and grows. So that'll be pretty awesome. I'm not sure why I put this right here. Oh, I did it to set a stop loss. That's why I did that. Sometimes it's good to put notes on your trades when you're doing stuff, especially when you're doing that. So we can sit and watch, and you can see we got a lot of consolidation right here. What I call sort of the caterpillar or Chinese dragon look, centipede look. You got a lot of wicking on the candles here in the Heikinchi candles. If we switch over to traditional candles, you'll see a little bit more of a look. Like here's sellers in the market, here's buyers, here's some sellers and buyers, here's some more buyers in the market. We've got a doji candle here. Got a little bit different type of doji candle. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the market, right? We've got some hammer candles here, depending on what you're doing in the market. Reading these candles can sometimes give you an idea on where the market's going, right? Looking at this, understanding, getting out the like the Heikinchi candle guide and going through that and understanding how Heikinchi candles work, or just going through the candlestick Bible and understanding how certain candlesticks work. I know G Money Gerardo, one of our instructors, he has a really cool guide on each set of candle styles, and it tells you if you see these candles, the market's going to do this. If you see these candles, the market's going to do this. If you see this group of candles, the market's going to do this. Again, you learn that in class, right? And when you learn that stuff in class, again, it's your style depending on what you want to learn and how you want to trade, right? There's all different types of styles of trading. And it sounds like I'm pitching trading and learning how to trade right now. That's what I'm doing, right? Because I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's not instant jiffy pop popcorn money. Sometimes you'll see we've been sitting here for about 45 minutes. And again, if you're going to sit in front of your computer at work, there's people right now that are getting up, getting ready to go to work, right? Depending on what state you live in. If you live in the East Coast, you're probably already up and already there, right? If you live sort of here, there's people getting up, getting ready to head out the door. You could have gotten up this morning and got some trading out of the way, or you could have done some trading in the middle of the night, or you can do some trading when you get off work because the Asian market is open at 6 o'clock, right? It opens up. You could do some trading on the back end. And once you learn how to trade, you might make more money trading for a couple of hours in the evening if you're trading the Asian market, or maybe trading for a couple of hours in the morning before you go to work, right? Than you do all week on your job, right? And I heard people say, well, I don't want to sit in front of my computer all day, but they go to work and sit in front of their computer all day for 8 hours a day to make $80, right? To sit in front of a computer for 8 hours, right? And they don't want to sit in front of a computer to learn how to trade to make $80 in 30 minutes, right? See what I'm saying? So sometimes it's funny what people say, but again, it's all about your mindset, right? If you think broke, you'll be broke, right? And that's the year. You always want to look for ways to make a little bit of extra money. And there's thousands of ways. I'm not saying trading is the only way to do that. So hopefully I provided some value for you this morning in terms of looking at how to trade, when to trade. Today might be, and now there's 28 pairs, right, for trading Forex. You don't just have to do the ones that I'm saying. You can go out and find some that work. Like this morning, all the US pairs are jumping in. So might be a good idea. Some people will trade the U.S. market up until about 11 o'clock, and then they're out. They're done for the day. Gold a couple of weeks ago, every day around noon, 1 o'clock, it was doing some crazy jumping around. If you would have been sitting in front of your computer at that time, you would have caught a trade. But typically, gold does a crazy move right around 7:30. It's coming up on 7:15 right now, so we'll have to see. Remember when I said it was going to come down and stall out right here, right? Gets to this magic little gold line, and it just sort of things just stall out. Now I do have my red SAR. I do have some more sellers in the market. I'm at my zero line down here. My Oracle is still flat, and I haven't broken below this, but my Fibonacci candles are also getting smaller, which means this may trend and go this direction. Same thing on the US dollar. US dollar, oh God, it's just really, really small. Everybody's hanging out right now. I don't know what they do in wherever the guys that trade billions of dollars do around this time in the morning. I think everybody gets up and goes and gets coffee and turns off the trading button. I don't know, but at 7:30, all hell breaks loose in most cases. Sometimes it's 8:30, all hell breaks loose. Just sometimes between those two time frames, if you're trading US 30, right, it gets crazy at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Time. US 30 sometimes just goes nuts, and it's like it's all over. It's a really cool trade to scalp, really cool pair to scalp if you're pair, I guess you want to call it a pair. Product to scalp if you're into scalping. It's also something if you're not into scalping, you can look at the overall trends and do more of maybe an intraday trade on a US 30 or a swing trade on a US 30, depending on how you analyze the market, looking at all the stocks and everything like that, thinking about where the US dollar is going has a lot to do with how the market moves. Looking at big international news with what's going on with other companies has a lot that says a lot about the trends in terms of how particular dollars or products are going to move. You'll notice here, I think I'm on the same time frame, Australian dollar versus gold. You see how Australian dollar actually made the move first, right? It reacted quicker to the US dollar's turn here than gold. Gold was on a little bit of a lag. So here's, if you're opening on the Australian dollar, if my next candle breaks here and heads this direction, again, I'm on the 1 minute time frame, right? This doesn't really say a lot because the 1 minute's move up and down and up and down. If I'm going to trade the Australian dollar, I'm probably going to jump up here to the 1 hour time frame and just look at it overall, right? Look at it overall and see what it's doing. And I've got a lot of ranging going on in here, right? I may just wait to see what it's going to do because, again, it's got a lot of ranging. If I get some really good indicators that my sellers are jumping in the market, I may go ahead and set a trade on the Australian dollar, US dollar, depending on what it does versus the US dollar. Getting gold. See, I just got a really big spike in a gold right here. And it jumped back up. So it jumped from 1759 to 1760 something in about a second. I'm looking at seconds on my MT4 on my phone. Right. Again, I've got my green X. I've got a nice big green candle here. I've got my green dot on my MACD, which means I've got buyers in the market. My Oracle is still typically flat. I've got a green SAR. Again, it's going to be 7:30, and it's going to hit, right? It's going to hit and it's going to explode. I think I'm going to bump my lot size up just a smidge. And grab a few more dollars on that move. It's just sitting here waiting with my finger on the trigger to see where it's going to go. If the US dollar does this, I'm probably going to jump in and grab me some gold. Australian dollar, I'm going to look at the overall trend. I'm going to come in here and probably set a trade on AUD USD to close out somewhere up here, depending on what I'm doing. I got to look at this, analyze this a little bit more today before I jump in and do an AUD USD trade. I might wait until 8:30, take this and take a look at this. But for right now, I can still scalp gold. Again, sellers just jumped in, right? Sellers jumped in, got a lot of crazy stuff going on. There may not be anything going this morning, right? So I don't want to get into a situation where I have a lot of drawdown. If you are going to scalp, again, I recommend you set a minimum loss that you're willing to take, or maximum loss that you're willing to take, like $20, $25. Close it out, right? Come back tomorrow and make $200 and make it back, but don't do revenge trading, right? It's just always what is my daily goal, and what am I willing to lose today if the trade doesn't go the direction I want it to. Or sometimes, again, when you're into scalping, you just don't know, are you going to be able to catch? Where are you going to be able to catch something in this area, right? Would have been better if I was scalping to get in down here when it's trending up, or all the way down here at 5 o'clock in the morning, or just about 6 a.m. We got up a little bit earlier when I saw this trend. I could have rode it all the way up to here and made several hundreds of dollars in that 1 hour time frame between there and there. But now I've got a lot of ranging going on, so it's just a matter of sitting on my hands and waiting. And there may or may not be a trade. I'm not going to sit in front of my computer all day waiting to see what's going to happen in the market. For sure, definitely not doing that. If you'd like to get enrolled in classes, find the style that works for you. Whether you're going to do bare naked trading, or you're going to do the Ichimoku cloud. I had to do the counting in Japanese to say it right. If you're going to do the cloud and you're going to use the cloud as a trading indicator, I had it on one of these here. Which one was it on? Right, there it is. If you're going to use the cloud as an indicator, maybe as a second indicator to tell you when to get in and out of the market, there's some instructors that teach how to use the cloud to get in and out of trades, and what it means to be in and out of trade when you're looking at the lagging span over here. And for example, let me turn off this other indicator. So looking at the cloud, right? Looking at the cloud, this tells me I've got my lagging span, which is going up. There goes price. I've got more buyers in the market than I've got sellers. And there goes my spike for the buy, right? But I've got a really big cloud, so probably a really big turn. If I want to jump over on this and go here, so I've got a lot going on in that market. So I'm going to wait till my next one, see if I can jump in here on a scalp and grab, depending on what this next candle does in 4 seconds. See if it takes off to the moon. I'm going to watch the US dollar over there and see where it goes. Got sellers in the market on the US dollar. And again, I got a really small candle that kicked in. So sometimes when you're scalping, it's just a matter of, can I catch a trade, right? I should have just been paying attention here, but I wasn't. Could have got me a few dollars on this trade here on a scalp. Again, looking at the cloud, looking that I got buyers in the market, got a lot of indicators there that are telling me this is a really good move. My lagging span is outside of price. All of my pricing for gold is above my cloud. Everything here is telling me typically that gold is in a buy move, but I also have a ranging cloud. In other words, it's not going straight this way. It's more ranging flat, right? I've got my, I can't remember, conversion line, baseline. I always get these mixed up in my cloud, which one's going what way. But again, I've got buyers in the market. So good opportunity. And you'll notice Australian dollar starting to turn really slow on my 1 hour. So there's probably a trade that's going to happen over here on the Australian dollar. Jump back over here to my favorite types of candles and just look at these. So again, another type of indicator that you can use and learn how to use and determine whether or not that's an indicator that you want to use to get in and out of the market. Lots of people that teach the cloud. And if you are going to jump on and look at some guru on YouTube, find out what their trading experience is, right? A lot of people can get on and tell you about stuff and how it works, but find out what their trading experience is, right? Find out how much money they're making every day trading. I actually watched a video where a guy was talking about scalping gold, and I saw his headline, scalp gold, and the first thing he says is, I've never traded gold before. And I'm like, how? So I just left, right? I wasn't going to listen to somebody, although his ideas and his theories might have been good. I wasn't going to listen to him talk about trading gold when he never traded gold, especially scalping gold, because again, it doesn't move like any other pair out there. It looks similar, but like I said, right now it's in a ranging up mode in the market. So We're trading gold. For those of you that are interested in the gold copycat and basically cheating off the smart kids sitting in the back of the room, basically what the smart kids do is they drop their trade ideas into an app, and they automatically will feed over to MT4. So that's actually like them actually operating all the stuff behind the scenes, and they open the trade for you, close the trade for you. If you'd like to learn more about that copycat system, let me know, and I'll definitely get you some information on it. If you just like to jump in and learn how to trade, highly recommend before you do anything else, or whether you do anything else, you can do the gold copycat, jump in, learn how to trade as well. Click on the link in my bio, get registered, start taking some classes, hang out. If you got a particular class you'd like for me to come and hang out with you, just let me know. And if I don't have something else on my calendar, I'll come and jump in a class with you. In the classes, they do have a boot camp every Wednesday. Get in at 8 a.m. Wednesday morning and trade live and give you trade setups, which is really cool. And then come back and do a follow-up at noontime. And at the end of the day, they close out and prep for the next day. Very cool day. It's about an hour. It's about 3 hours on a Wednesday total time to get in and get some real experience from a live trader, actually watching them set up the charts and do that. Very cool opportunity. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and jump off because I've been talking for an hour. Got to get ready for some coaching calls here coming up in just a little bit. I'll get some more information out here a little bit later today on the copycat system for you for sure. I love you. I appreciate you. Have an absolutely awesome Monday. And I'll see you back here tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. We'll do this all over again. We'll go in and take a look at the market. Keep your eye on what's going on in the market, because right now here in just a few minutes, gold's probably going to go crazy. In about an hour, the market sort of opens up. You're going to get a lot of ranging. And find a pair that you love to trade, right? Find a pair that you love to trade and learn how to dance with it, right? Learn all its moves. And when you do that, you can literally find one pair to trade and make more money than you could possibly ever imagine you can make in your entire life, spending 2 or 3 hours a day doing it if you spend that long. I mean, there's some of my friends that trade US 30. They do it 30 minutes every morning and they make a killing, right? When I say a killing, they make lots of money trading US 30 from a scalping position. So that's something that you want to learn how to do. Definitely, if that's in your wheelhouse, that can be a lot of fun. It can be really high anxiety. So you gotta sort of mentally prepare for that type kind of stuff as well. I love you. I appreciate you. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you make a lot of money. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 6:30. Good morning. Bye-bye.